live from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. FATV presents its coverage of the 2026 MIAA Division IV Boys Ice Hockey Championship. Good evening, everyone. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Dan Bolak. Dan, we are at the Garden, and that is pretty cool.
Oh, yes. What a privilege to be able to come down here to the TD Garden to call an all Central Mass Championship game between the Littleton Bromfield Tigers and St. Bernard's Bernardians. It's going to be a heck of a game. It's going to be a heck of a game. We are so thankful to the MIAA and to the folks here at TD Garden for allowing us to be part of this broadcast, to allow us to broadcast live to the folks at home in Fitchburg or the folks joining us anywhere in this world. fatv.org/watch-FATV. At the beginning, we should let you know that for those folks who are joining us live, tonight's broadcast will be audio only. It was part of the arrangement that allowed us to broadcast here. Tonight's broadcast is audio only. That is for the live broadcast, but we will let you know that we do have the FATV truck here. We have all of our camera operators. We have our tremendous crew. We have brought every bell and whistle you can think of to TD Garden in Boston. We are putting together a full broadcast production for you. That broadcast will air this coming Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. on FATV. Afterwards, it will be available on demand at fatv.org. And in addition to the broadcast, Dan and I will go down to the media room afterward, secure some interviews with some players and coaches after the game. All of that will be part of the broadcast. Again, this coming Tuesday, 7:30 p.m., and then available on demand at fatv.org. Now then, to the matter of a hockey game, Dan, it is, after all, the Division IV Boys Ice Hockey Championship, and it should be a good one. Indeed, and these are two teams that have never won a state championship. So we'll have a first-time champion, a guaranteed Central Mass champion. For Littleton Bromfield, this is obviously the best season in their program's history, 23-1. This was the first year they'd even made it to the state semifinals, let alone the state championship game. But they have torn through the playoffs. I wouldn't say with relative ease, but these are some pretty lopsided scorelines. A 10-0 win over Nantucket in the round of 32, a 5-2 win over Pentucket in the round of 16. They beat Martha's Vineyard 6-1, and then in the state semifinals took down Dover Sherborne Weston by a score of 5-1. Gavin Whirling had 2 goals and 2 assists, become the all-time point leader in Littleton Bromfield history. Blake Hannon had 2 goals. He's got a team-leading 62 points on the season. And Jacob Dangle with 25 saves comes into this game with a 154 goals against .918 save percentage. The goalkeeper who won a state title in soccer for the Bromfield Trojans, looking to win another state title this season with the Littleton Bromfield Tigers. It's been a tremendous season for the Tigers. They came in as the number 2 seed in Division IV, finished through the regular season 23-1, including 10-0 in the Midwatch C. The last time these Tigers lost, Dan, the only time they lost, all the way back Saturday, December the 20th to Groton Dunstable. And then they made it up on February 19th to beat Groton Dunstable 6-0. So we've established that the Tigers are good, but the Bernardians, importantly, are also good. They are also good. 21-3, probably the best season in St. Bernard's history. Definitely the best season since they revived the program at the turn of the pandemic. Yeah, 21-3. They've only lost 3 games this season, as we mentioned, 1 to a Peabody team in a tournament final, 1 to Worcester in overtime, and then 1 to a top 8 seed in Division III in Drake at Tingsboro. Since then, in their playoff run, beat Rockland 4-1, beat Sandwich 4-1 down at Gallo Arena in Bourne, beat Monomoy Mashpee, the 16 seed, 6-3 in Stoneham on March the 5th. Did not have to play the number 1 seed Stoneham, as Monomoy Mashpee was able to upset them. And then played the defending state champion Winthrop in the state semifinals. They were outshot 47-15 in that contest, but it didn't matter for the Bernardians. They won 6-3 as well. Phoenix Fortier had 2 goals and an assist. Matt Sylvia, a goal and 3 assists. Evan Walker, a goal and 2 assists. Toby Bolak, a goal and an assist. Only twice this season has the opposition been able to keep Toby Bolak off the score sheet. He's got a point in every game but 2 this year. Just tremendous scoring from both of these teams in their run through the playoffs. Each of them has played 4 games so far, combined 46 goals for the Tigers of Littleton Bromfield and the Bernardians of St. Bernard's in those 4 games for each team. It's safe to say, Dan, at least on paper, and we always preface that with at least on paper, there should be some goals tonight. I would like to think that too, but also these are 2 teams that are very sound defensively as well. Chase Bergeron, looking at his numbers this year, 211 goals against .918 save percentage. We mentioned Jacob Dangle's got a .918 save percentage as well.
31 goals conceded all season for Littleton Bromfield in 24 games. St. Bernard's 48 goals conceded in 24 games. Littleton Bromfield has shown itself to be slightly better defensively, but St. Bernard's may have the most explosive player in all of Central Mass, if not the whole state, in Matt Sylvia, who has scored an unfathomable 81 points this season on 36 goals and 45 assists. 13 games this season, he scored at least 2 goals.
A tremendous season for Sylvia, and for everyone else in Division 4, just to let you know, he's just a junior, so he's coming back next year.
And, if he keeps his progression, he's already got over 140 career points, something to that effect. The all-time leading scorer is in the house for St. Bernard's, and that would be Kevin Lizotte. Of course, the catch is Kevin Lizotte's on the other bench. He's the head coach for Littleton Bromfield. 242 career points. Sounds like it's out of reach, but at the pace that Sylvia's going, nothing's impossible.
He's had a tremendous season. Again, 81 points, 36 goals, 45 assists for Sylvia. You look at some of the other top scorers on St. Bernard's. You have to mention Evan Walker, 23 goals, 34 assists for him. 49 points on the board for Phoenix. 40er, 23 goals, and 26 assists from him. So it's not all Sylvia. There are other Bernardians who can put the puck in the back of the net. But for the Tigers, Dan, they really have to focus on number 7 and try to eliminate him, or at least contain him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's obviously one of the challenges. Littleton Bromfield, they've got a number of scorers at their disposal. Blake Hannon, 36 goals on the season, 62 points. Gavin Worling, the all-time point leader for Littleton Bromfield, has 58 points on the season with 27 goals and 31 assists. And you've got to watch for those Glue twins, who are also part of that state championship soccer team for the Bromfield Trojans. Connor Glue, 24 goals and 30 assists for 54 points, and his twin brother Liam on defense, 48 points this season. That's the dynamic 4 there, but there's some other players who can also put points on the board, who can put goals on the board. There's a lot to watch out for both of these teams.
You go up and down the rosters for both of these teams. How deep do the Tigers go? They have double-digit point scorers up and down their roster. The same largely true for the Bernardians. It's come a little bit more focused through Sylvia and the 2 others that we mentioned, but there are some definite scoring threats up and down the rosters for both of these teams. It's going to be interesting. 2 very powerful offenses, 2 very strong defenses. Certainly, I would say, the toughest challenge of the season for the Bernardians in the Tigers. Yep. And you would have to assume it's the same for Littleton Bromfield. St. Bernard's represents their strongest opponent of the year.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is these are 2 teams that were used to playing each other. The last 4 years they've played each other in league play back in the old Coughlin Conference. However, this year with the whole merging of so many of the small conferences in Central Mass to create the giant Central Mass Athletic Conference, this created a change in how everybody was situated in high school ice hockey in Central Mass. It meant that Littleton Bromfield, who went into the Midwatch, and St. Bernard's, who went into the CMAC, ultimately were no longer league opponents. They did not play each other this year. They've played some teams this year in Central Mass between each other. After all, we mentioned Littleton Bromfield's 1 loss was to Grand Dunstable. St. Bernard's played Grand Dunstable, won that game in overtime.
Should be a tremendous game. Again, we are so thankful to the MIAA, to all of the folks at FATV and here at TD Garden who have made this possible. We are very excited to get underway. We will take it down to ice level for the introduction of our starting lineups, the playing of the national anthem, and then just after that, we will have puck drop. Folks, it is time for the MIAA Division 4 Boys Ice Hockey Championship, and it starts right here on FATV.
And now for tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting team, the Bernardians from St. Bernard's. Starting at left wing, a sophomore, number 26, Matteo Apollino. Starting at center, a junior and captain, number 7, Matthew Sylvia. Starting at right wing, a sophomore, number 28, Will Canada. Starting on defense, a sophomore, number 3, J.J. Jar. Also starting on defense, a junior, number 17, Owen Tolson. And starting in the goal, the senior and captain, number 1, Chase Bergeron. And the rest of the Bernardians from St. Bernard's. Assistant coaches Brett Fronti, Joe Palangi, Mike Peace. The head coach for St. Bernard's is Mr. Steve Sylvia. Now for the home team, the Tigers from Littleton, Bromfield. Starting at left wing, a sophomore, number 26, Blake Hannon. Starting at center, a senior and captain, number 6, Connor Glue. Starting at right wing, a senior and captain, number 2, Gavin Whirling. Starting on defense, a senior and captain, number 3, Liam Glue. And starting on defense, a junior, number 46, Cale Picos. And starting in the goal, the senior and captain, number 31, Jacob Dangle. And the rest of the Tigers from Littleton, Bromfield. Assistant coaches Ryan Wilson, Ray Richard, Mike Plew. The head coach for Littleton, Bromfield is Mr. Kevin Lazard. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, with that, if you please rise if you are able, remove your caps and address the flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Just about ready for puck drop here from the TD Garden as we are set for the 2026 MIAA Division IV Boys Ice Hockey Championship between the Tigers of Littleton Bromfield and the Bernardians of St. Bernard's. I'm John Grugerty, joined by Dan Bolak. We will give one last reminder for our folks who are joining us live on FATV. This broadcast will be audio only, but there will be a full video production. TV cameras, replays, graphics, the whole 9 yards. That broadcast will air this coming Tuesday, 7:30 on FATV, and then will be available on demand at fatv.org. But if you can hear me right now, I imagine it's because you're very interested in this game and you want to hear what happens. Dan, I think we're ready to tell them what happens.
I think we are as well. Littleton Bromfield will be the home gold uniforms with white numbers, a white stripe across the middle. Littleton Bromfield crest with the Tiger in front. They'll go left to right in this first period. St. Bernard's in the road, dark blue uniforms, white numbers, gold trim, and golden white stripes. They will go right to left. We are underway from Boston. Littleton Bromfield wins the draw, dumps it down the ice on the far side, and it goes. We thought it was going to go for icing. I thought I heard a whistle, but there wasn't a whistle. We're playing on. But nevertheless, St. Bernard stretches it up ice, looks for Evan Walker, can't handle it at the blue line. Brought back to the right side by Gavin Whirling, dumps into the Bernardian zone. Owen Tolson sends it off the boards to the far side. Blake Hannon has a hold of it, top of the left circle, shot, scores! 35 seconds in, the 37th goal of the season for Blake Hannon. Littleton Bromfield has the first strike.
Just like that, Dan, the Tigers skated into the zone. They dump and chase. They were able to get Hannon isolated in the slot right in front of the net, and he did not miss. He just rotated in, set himself up. He didn't really have any pressure from St. Bernard's. He was able to pick his spot in the top left corner, and he buried the puck there.
Shoots it over the shoulder of Chase Bergeron, the sophomore from Littleton makes it 1-0 to the Tigers. Buck will go into the Littleton Bromfield zone into the right wing corner. Toby Bolak pulls it out to the right side corner. Pass mishandled by the Bernardians. Taken by Littleton Bromfield back behind the net. Tigers will try to flip it up ice. A long stretch pass just out of the reach. And icing is called, as trying to get after that was Austin Huber up the middle, but just a little too far for him.
Dan, we mentioned neither one of these teams has won a state championship. Littleton Bromfield has never even played for one. I imagine both teams ideally would have liked to play the first couple of minutes, just get their legs under them, get used to the feeling, get used to the atmosphere, get used to the way the ice feels. St. Bernard's is no longer afforded that luxury. They are already down.
J.J. Ja keeps it the right point. Shot from Evan Walker from the blue line ends up going offline. Behind the net, Ryder Testagrossa trying to move it along for St. Bernard's. The puck goes to the near side half boards. Testagrossa turns and shoots, goes wide. Picked up on the right side, and the shot goes wide as well. We'll announce the goal now. It's an unassisted goal from Blake Cannon. Again, his 37th goal of the season, leading all of Central Mass. Makes it 1-0 to Littleton Bromfield, 13:10 to go in the first period. Evan Walker on the left side pushed off the puck in the Littleton Bromfield zone. Cale Picos is able to roll it around to the far side. He skates up with it, still going all the way into the left circle of the St. Bernard side. A drop pass ends up flying a little too high, strikes someone on a bench, and brings the stoppage to play.
Sent the linesman at the blue line ducking, and then I think it whacked a Bernardian who may not have been paying as close attention as he liked, but you know, everybody's fine.
Faceoff will come outside the St. Bernard zone to the far side. Draw will be won by the Tigers. There's Connor Glue on the draw for Littleton Bromfield. Puck comes to the near side, pushed into the zone out of the reach of Andrew Archer and sent right back out of the zone by the Bernardians. Now in the neutral zone, it is Archer who'll gain the blue line and send it around the boards to the right side. St. Bees tries to get it out. Pulled out from the near side half boards by Phoenix Forder. Now fed forward for Toby Bolak. Comes up the right wing. Bolak 2-on-2, tries to get a shot. Hard to get it through two defenders. It ends up going wide to the left. Into the right wing corner it'll go. Archer will try to pick it up for LB. Out to the near side for Kelly Logan. They'll be able to get it out of the zone and picked up in the neutral zone. Now going forward, and a shot ends up being blocked out in front. Austin Huber with the attempt for Littleton Bromfield.
Brody Kenny made the block for St. Bernard's, and I think Brody Kenny was the most surprised guy in the building.
Phoenix Fortier getting it to the right circle, gets a shot through the pads of Jacob Dangle, but out the other side and away from the net. Got it past Dangle, but didn't have the angle to put it in the back of the net. 11:45 to go first period, 1-0 Littleton Bromfield in front. Tigers will skate it out from the near side. It is Connor Glue who will dump it around the boards. Behind the net, Owen Tolson will get tangled up with Connor. But Tolson will be able to move it along to the near side and out of the zone. Gavin Whirling with a touch on to Liam Glue. He'll regain the zone. Into the left circle, loses a handle on it. J.J. Ja will try to rim it around, but Blake Cannon cuts it down. Now Whirling on the left side. Whirling going right to goal, scores! Gavin Whirling with some pretty moves, and he puts it through Bergeron's 5-hole to make it 2-0 Tigers.
The setup was very similar to the first goal. You've got Whirling rotating into the slot. And this time, rather than fire the wrist shot from distance, he skates right in on Bergeron, goes left, fakes right, puts it right between the legs, and it's 2-0 Tigers.
He waited Bergeron out. Instead of trying to snipe it past, waited for Bergeron to move, and then while the 5-hole was open, poked it through his legs. Gavin Whirling's got his 28th goal of the season, 2-0 to Littleton Bromfield. On the near side in the LB zone, it'll be skated up the middle. Liam Glute with a pass forward, trying to find Andrew Archer, just a little out of his reach. Picked up by Adam Rendon, who will rim it around the boards to the near side. Players trying to dig it out as the puck moves its way into the right wing corner. Bernardians try to flip it out of the zone, but it's kept in at the right point as Liam Glute gets squeezed off by two Bernardians. Here's the goal. Hopefully you heard it at home better than I did.
I do believe Hannon was credited with one of the assists.
I want to say Liam Glue may have gotten another assist, and a shot from the right side is turned aside by Bergeron. I think that's the first proper save we've had in this contest. 10:07 to go, first period, 2-0 to Littleton Bromfield. St. Bernard's holds back in their zone, a stretch pass looking for Will Cannon off his stick. Evan Walker will dump it in. Jacob Dangle goes behind his own net, tries to leave it. A little bit of miscommunication. Wasn't able to be cleanly handled by Cale Picos. But second efforts for Littleton Bromfield, able to take control of the puck from the near side, whirling. Passing it forward up to the center circle. Hannon can't handle it. Bernardian's decor will send it back into the neutral zone. Now back to Owen Tolson in his own zone. Tries to feed it forward for Evan Walker. He's pushed into the boards by Liam Glue. Glue from his own blue line pushes forward. Gets a pass to the St. Bernard's blue line. Back and forth it goes. Nobody really sustaining pressure here at this moment. 9:23 to go, first period, 2-0 Tigers in front. Littleton Bromfield in their own zone, trying to bring it out to the blue line. Touch from Ryder Testagross to keep it in the zone, but a second effort successful to get it out of the zone all the way down to the right wing corner in the St. Bernard's end, but nothing more than that for Littleton Bromfield. St. B's able to clear it out to the neutral zone. Back to the St. B's blue line. Tolson will dump it in. Will go into the right wing corner. Won't get to the goal line, so it won't go for icing. D to D to the near side. Cale Picos with a pass forward. And with a bit of a rush up ice are the Tigers. Trying to hold on to it, Ryan Pittarino going into the right wing corner. He's dispossessed off the puck. Now comes back to Austin Huber, who had it a moment ago. Shot from the left point, mostly fanned on. Didn't have a lot of velocity and missed left of the net. Out on the right side board, St. B's able to clear it out of the zone and down the ice. 8:20 to go in the first, 2-0 Littleton Bromfield in front. And boy, this Tigers defense sure is suffocating. As LB trying to take it all the way to goal, it was Liam Glue turning around, trying to get a shot through the blue paint. Goes out the other side, another shot from inside the left circle, ends up getting deflected in front, doesn't make its way on goal.
Really, Dan, that was the first time that St. Bernard's had bodies in place to stop that pass into the slot.
Whirling with the shot, deflects wide into the right wing corner. Pulled out by Sylvia. Try to dig it around, Fortier. All the way to the far side boards for Cody Warren. Warren has his pocket picked as centering pass goes into the slot. Nothing going there for the Tigers. Still trying to turn another shot on goal. We're approaching the halfway point of this first period of play. And Littleton Bromfield holding a 2-0 lead on goals from Blake Hannon and Gavin Whirling. Puck is down in the Littleton Bromfield zone. Liam Glue absorbs a hit from Evan Walker in the left wing corner. He still has possession of it. Walker throws another hit to try to dispossess him. All that unsuccessful as the Tigers try to get out of the zone, but taken away. A shot from the right side fought off by Dangle. Behind the net, Matt Sylvia holding the right wing corner, gets a pass to Ja. Shot from the point, whistles wide of the cage. Stepping up is Rendon on the left side, keeps it on the half boards, tries to get it back to Walker behind the net. Picos battling with him. Now it comes to Kelly Logan in the left side corner. He's able to flip it down the ice, and that will go for icing. 6:43 to go in the first, 2-0 Littleton Bromfield in front.
As this game goes on, Dan, and as St. Bernard's tries to battle back from this early 2-0 deficit, it's going to be interesting to monitor the ice time for their best three players, Matt Sylvia, Phoenix Fortier, and Toby Bolak. How much does head coach Steve Sylvia lean on those three guys being down 2-0 early in the game? We could see them on the ice for a lot of this contest.
6:43 to go in the first, and a penalty against St. Bernard's. Evan Walker's in the box for 2 minutes. It's a power play to Littleton Bromfield. Make matters a lot worse for St. Bernard's. Already down 2-0, and they've got a very dangerous power play they've got to deal with that's actually taking around 41% this season. Liam Glue deep in the slot, trying to get a shot away. Couldn't get it to go. Blake Hannon, pass to the left side, shot, one-timer. Never made its way on goal. Got gobbled up by a body in front. Littleton Bromfield still in control as they have it at the top of the right circle. A pass out to the left side for Andrew Archer. To the point, Liam Glue tries a shot for a redirection, scores! scores! Gavin Worley gets the tip for his second goal of the game. A power play goal makes it 3-0.
You could not ask for a better 9.5 minutes of hockey than this beginning for Littleton Bromfield. Again, Whirling gets into the slot, beats his defender. This time he's just there with a timely deflection. Was nothing Bergeron could do about that one.
It's exactly the play that got Liam Glue his 100th career point. A shot that was redirected by Gavin Whirling. And you see it again in the state championship game. Second goal of the game for Gavin Whirling, third goal of the game for Littleton Bromfield. They lead 3-0. Will Canada from the red line gains the blue for St. Bernard's. The right side tight angle shot through the paint. Doesn't get a piece of dangles. It goes out to the left side corner. Now on the near side, St. Bernard's not able to keep control of the puck. Liam Glue and Blake Cannon, I believe, have the assists on Gavin Whirling's second goal of the contest to make it 3-0. St. Bernard's with a stretch pass up the ice to the right side for Will Canada. He tries to move it along, hits a Littleton Bromfield stick, and the puck goes into the bench and out of play.
At this point, Dan, you have to think for St. Bernard's, the first thought is just get to the locker room. They need to regroup, and I honestly don't think it would be a terrible idea to call your timeout now. Like, this team needs to catch its breath.
5:06 to go in the first period. It's 3-0 for Littleton Bromfield. Shots in this game, 5-0 in favor of the Tigers. They haven't been getting too many shots, but they've been a very high quality when they do. And the Bernardians have not been able to properly test Jacob Dangle tonight. This is a Littleton Bromfield team that only concedes about 17 shots a game. They're a tough nut to crack. Littleton Bromfield has the top of the right circle. Shot saved by Bergeron. Off the stick of Archer from the right circle. St. Bernard's in their own zone. Skating it up, Toby Bolak trying to protect at the center C. Dumped off the puck by Kelly Logan. Following on will be Redden, who will dump it into the zone. And push after for good measure, as now the Bernardians will change lines. Puck behind the Littleton Bromfield net onto the near side. And Liam Glue moves it forward for Gavin Whirling. Whirling tries to make a move. He's dispossessed. And skating up ice is Brody Kenny on the left side. Kenny with a shot saved by Dangle. The rebound ricocheted a very long distance away. A prime opportunity for a one-timer. Bernardians couldn't get there quickly enough. Evan Walker with the shot from the slot. Ends up going wide to the right. He picks it back up, gets another shot, but it sticks down at the top of the paint and flipped out of the zone by Littleton Bromfield. In transition, Blake Cannon tried to gain the zone, but offside against Littleton Bromfield. 3:38 to go, first period, 3-0 Tigers.
I'm reminded of the old saying, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. The Bernardians are picking up their teeth right now to finish the metaphor, if you will. It's not been a good start, to say the least.
It's always challenging when by the time you get your first shot on goal, you've already conceded 3 goals. As the Bernardian gets crunched right in front of the Littleton Bromfield bench. Tigers have it back in their own zone. A pass up ice to the neutral zone. Brody Kenny tries to backhand it to Matt Sylvia. It's out of his reach. Evan Walker keeps it in the zone on a clearing attempt from Cale Picos. Now Connor Glue from his own zone up for Gavin Whirling. But that's knocked back by Walker. On the near side boards, moved up to the red line. Brody Kenny trying to fire from 90, but it's blocked out in front. Picos holds to the side of his net, feeds it far side. The Tigers skating it up now. A shot from Whirling is stopped by Bergeron. He follows it through, tries to cover. There's nobody checking him. He has to play on. No one within 20 feet of him. Wanted to cover, but can't do it in that particular circumstance. Bernardians have to settle for the very short breath they were able to take. As Kelly Logan able to dispossess Evan Walker on the near side boards of the St. Bernard zone. but the Tigers can't do anything with it as it's pushed back to the center circle. Kenny trying to pass forward. A Bernardian was knocked down in the neutral zone as Matt Sylvia with the shot saved by Dangle. Evan Walker slowly makes his way back to the bench. Phoenix Fortier shot from the right side, and that's bobbled up by Dangle.
Walker, as you said, Dan, very slow getting back to the bench. Took a while for the Bernardians to be able to get another skater on the ice to replace him. We'll keep an eye on him, see if he's able to get back into this game.
Be a tough loss for the Bernardians. Walker, 57 points on the season. A 2-on-1 developing for Littleton Bromfield. A shot by Blake Hanning got blocked in front. Owen Tolson able to give up the body to block that shot. JJ Jaw with the stretch pass. Go off the boards, out of the reach of Phoenix Fortier, and all the way down to the right side corner for icing. Just under 100 seconds to go in the first period of play. 3-0 to Littleton Bromfield. Blake Cannon has a goal. Gavin Whirling has 2 for the Tigers. These two teams playing for their first ever state title. First time Littleton Bromfield's ever been here. Is a tight shot from the left side is stopped by Bergeron. For St. Bernard's, first time in 26 years they've been here. 2000 the last time they played for a state title. That was against the Duxbury Dragons, who came away with a 7-4 victory. St. Bees has played for state titles 2 other times. A much, much longer time ago. A big hit at the blue line. As Ryder Testagrossa with a shot stopped by Dangle. And he's able to cover it up before Bernardi can pounce on the rebound.
Phoenix Fortier was right there, but he wasn't able to get a stick on it before Dangle gathered his own rebound. Testagrossa went to the backhand, tried to beat Dangle glove side. Dangle was able to knock the puck down and then cover up. He'll draw a face-off in his own zone.
Draw come to the right of Dangle. And Evan Walker is right back into the contest. Now Sylvia's got some space to shoot, but he get the pass off. Liked his odds with Will Cannon on the right side, but that pass was knocked down. A shot from the right point turned aside by Dangle into the left wing corner. The Bernardians are starting to get a little more comfortable, getting a couple more shots on goal, but they're chasing 3 goals as we're in the final minute of the first period of play. Puck in the neutral zone, goes off a number of sticks and skates, and it's carried up on the right side by Huber. Huber for the Tigers, doubles back in the left wing corner as Owen Tolson lays the body into the boards. Kelly Logan for Andrew Archer. It's that second line for Littleton Bromfield that we'll see a lot of, but it's the first line that does so much of the damage. Evan Walker up the middle of the ice, goes into the right wing circle. Archer pushes him into the boards. Now a tight angle shot from the goal line, the right side. Dangle makes the stop, bats down the hatches, doesn't dare to move, because he's not sure where that puck is, but it's under him somewhere, and he's able to cover for a draw.
Evan Walker, Dan, I think is very lucky to be going to his bench and not the penalty box right now. He got checked into the boards right in front of the referee. Did not like the check, so he just took a swing at a Tiger's legs with his stick. Referee was maybe 2 feet away from this as it developed and didn't do a thing about it, so play on, boys.
And nothing happens in the last 12 seconds of the first period. The siren will sound to bring an end to this first period of play. It's dreamland for Littleton Bromfield. They score on 3 of their first 4 shots, and through 15 minutes of play, it's Littleton Bromfield 3, St. Bernard's nothing.
Just a tremendous first period on both ends of the ice for the Tigers. Dan, Littleton Bromfield, obviously that goal 35 seconds into the game really set the tone. They were able to follow up with another one very quickly after that. It was just a perfect period for the Tigers.
Just how you'd like to play, and they kept St. Bernard's off the shot board for over 10 minutes, I think. I looked with about 5 minutes to go in the period at what the official shots were, and it was 5-0 at that point in favor of Littleton Bromfield. St. Bernard's was able to get 6 of the last 9 shots in the period, not able to beat Jacob Dangle just yet. And now the Bernardians, this is probably the biggest deficit they've gone into the locker rooms with all season long.
And I do give St. Bernard's credit, Dan. I said it with 3 or 4 minutes left in the first period, immediately after conceding the third goal, that they needed a timeout, they needed a breath, they needed to just get to the locker rooms. And to the Bernardians' credit, not only did they get to the lockers without conceding a fourth goal, they also were able to change the momentum a little bit. They were able to get some shots on goal. They were able to apply some offensive pressure. Weren't able to find the net, which is what they're going to need to do if they want to get back into this game. But there's a little bit of positivity right at the end of that first period that they, from their perspective, can hopefully take forward.
They were starting to see some flashes. They're maybe starting to get used to the big stage. Of course, neither team accustomed to a stage this big. But, they were starting to get the flow of things. They were starting to get into the swing of things. But the challenge is they put themselves in quite a bit of a hole right now. And it'll be a little bit challenging to dig out. But, that's part of the adventure. That's part of the challenge.
What's the saying? Every obstacle is a new opportunity. Every bit of adversity is a new challenge. I don't know. The point is, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a semi-professional hockey yapper-abouter. And from my semi-professional opinion, again, the Bernardians have a little bit to build on from the end of that first period. Some big hits levied, some shots on goal. There is some promise there. I think from their perspective, they really want to get a goal in the first couple of minutes of that second period. Something to say to the Tigers, hey, we're still in this.
Something to set the tone, something to get the momentum back in their favor. Things were starting to shift a little bit near the end of the period. A goal would have really helped to really turn those tides. But for that first period, though, it's a dream first 15 minutes for Littleton Bromfield. They've got the Bernardians right where they want them.
Teams will change ends, and we will go to the first intermission. Dan and I will take the remainder of the break with the players, but don't go anywhere, folks. This is the 2026 MIAA Division IV Boys Ice Hockey Championship, and it's on FATV. Back here at TD Garden, getting ready for the start of the second period of the 2026 MIAA Division IV Boys Ice Hockey Championship between the Tigers of Littleton Bromfield and the Bernardians of St. Bernard's. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolek. Dan, that first 15 minutes of action went exactly as the Tigers could have hoped, and then even better.
I mean, when you get a goal 35 seconds into the contest on your first shot of the game, then things are going to go well for you, it should seem. And another goal a few minutes later, a power play goal a few minutes after that, and everything coming up blackjack for Littleton Bromfield. 3 goals before the Bernardians even got their first shot in the contest.
Was a tremendous first 15 minutes of action for Littleton and Bromfield. The first goal coming on a deflection from Blake Hannon, and then 2 other goals. First a shot through the 5-hole by Gavin Whirling, and then later in the period, Whirling was there once again for another deflection. Just tremendous work by the Tigers. Whirling and Hannon. Hannon had 2 assists, the assists on each of the Whirling goals. Liam Glue had a couple of assists as well for the Tigers. So we knew, Dan, coming in that this Littleton Bromfield side was very dangerous, and they showed it in that first 15 minutes of action.
This is a team that's averaging about 6 goals a game. Littleton Bromfield is 149 goals coming into today's game, has only conceded 31. So obviously strong offense, very stout defense, outshooting their opponents by an average of 38-17 a game this season. Yeah, the first 10 minutes, all Littleton Bromfield all the time. St. Bernard's had a lot of trouble sustaining offensive pressure. As the period went on, they were able to finally get a couple of opportunities, get a couple of shots on Jacob Dangle. But Dangle was there to make the saves. We already mentioned he won a state title as a keeper in soccer for the Bromfield Trojans, and now going for another state title this season.
A little bit of signs of optimism for the Bernardians at the end of that first period, but it was mostly all Tigers all the time. Teams have changed ends. We are underway in the second period here from TD Garden in Boston. Bernardians skated into the zone, shot from right up the gut, basically off the stick of Will Canada, goes wide to the left of the net. Gathered by the Tigers. This is Blake Hannon. He'll skate it up ice for Gavin Whirling. Whirling from the face-off circle, shot, save made. Loose puck, but a whistle blows. There was a collision in front of the net. Players from both sides a little bit slow to get up. Whirling getting tied up with Matt Sylvia. Both players appear to be all right. They'll skate it off. They're tough. They're hockey players, that sort of thing. This was very nearly, Dan, another early period goal for the Tigers.
Yeah, Whirling got that shot, and Bergeron was able to make the save, and after releasing the shot, Whirling lost his bounce a bit and just fell into Sylvia. It was just two players colliding, perfectly innocent, nothing nefarious about it. But obviously a little awkward collision that caused a stoppage of play.
Faceoff came to the right of St. Bernard's goaltender Chase Bergeron. Bernardians in the dark blue jerseys and pants with gold trim and helmets. White numbers for them, trimmed in gold. Shot to the faceoff circle, score! Ryder Testagrossa skated in uncontested, and from the right-hand side, he found the top left corner. It is 3-1.
We said at the end of the first intermission that if St. Bernard's wanted to try to regain the momentum, a goal in the first minute, it comes from Ryder Testagrossa on the right side. Just perfectly sniped it in the top left circle on the 2-on-1. Sixth goal of the season for the sophomore from Ashby. And just like that, the Bernardians are on the board.
They had momentum at the end of the first period. They weren't able to capitalize on it. They have even more now. If the Tigers thought they had this one in the bag, it is not quite there yet. Shot off the face-off, off the stick of Andrew Archer, is turned away from Bergeron. Bernardians skated up the other way. 2-on-1 opportunity for them now. Well defensed. Phoenix Fortier will take it into the right wing corner. Poked back to the blue line for Connor Johansson. Johansson plays it forward. This is Toby Bolak now. Bolak from the right wing corner skates to the face-off circle. Dangerous wraparound opportunity. Now a player's down in front of the net and will get a cross-check. Cross-checking is called against the Tigers. A power play coming for the Bernardians.
As Bolak wanted to pass it to the top of the circle for Phoenix Fortier. A cross-check committed by Ryan Pittarino. He's going to sit for 2 minutes and think about what he's done. And now St. Bernard's with a prime opportunity. Their first power play of the night and a chance to cut it to a 1-goal deficit.
Faceoff will come to the left side of Jacob Dangle. Dangle, like the rest of his Tigers teammates, wearing gold jerseys, dark shorts, white trim. They look very much at home here with the black and yellow decorations at TD Garden. Flicked out of the zone by Connor Glue. Down into the left wing corner, now bounces toward the net, played by Bergeron. St. Bernard's on the power play. First of the night for them. They've already have a goal in this second period. They're looking for a second. Dumped in, takes a deflection. It might have hit the linesman, actually. Bounces up into the netting and will get a stoppage. 13:02 to play, second period, 1:32 on the man advantage for the Bernardians. Faceoff will come on the near side, just outside the blue line, so in neutral ice. Toby Bolak skates forward. He'll be opposed by Connor Glue. Bolak wins the draw, skates into the zone. Circles, retreats, now back to the blue line for Huber. Pass and a shot off the stick of Evan Walker, but it's covered up. Dangle did a good job falling on that one.
Dangle going from his left to his right, gobbling that one up. He wears all black pads. Might be something that might help him earn a couple more whistles, in the hopes that that may make it a little harder for the officials to keep track of where the puck is.
Draw controlled by the Bernardians, dumped into the left wing corner, chased there by Gavin Whirling. Poked along the boards. Now Walker. Whirling's able to dispossess him, sends it around the boards, kept in at the blue line momentarily, but scooped out by Blake Cannon. Now reclaimed by the Bernardians, they get right back in, shot from the point, save made by Dangle. That was Matt Sylvia trying his luck, but Dangle denied him. 12:42 to play here, second period. 1:01 to go on the man advantage. Just about half of this penalty is gone. Actually make it 54 seconds, my apologies. 54 seconds left on the power play for St. Bernard's.
Yeah, the clock on your screen is unofficial. We're trying the best we can with that.
Puck dumped in to the Bernardian zone, chased down there by Brody Kenny. He'll leave it off for a teammate. This is Sylvia. Sylvia to the red line, now the blue. Skates in, 2 teammates behind him, but he likes it himself. Skates it behind the net, still with Sylvia, to the face-off circle. Now a long cross-ice pass finds Evan Walker. Walker gets rid of it immediately. Into the near side corner for Toby Bolak. Back out to the blue line. This is Sylvia again. Sylvia skates into the shot, takes a shot. Took a deflection, but Dangle was able to follow it in, and he covers up for the face-off.
Yep, Bernardians have been buzzing, have earned quite a few shots on this man advantage. They get that period opening goal from Ryder Testagrossa. They continue to push the pace, push the momentum. Still 24 seconds to go on this power play.
Toby Bolek wins another draw, comes to Sylvia at the blue line. He tried to play it forward for Walker, but Walker got nutmegged, went right between his legs. Now loose in front of the paint. Couple of backhand opportunities, covered up by Dangle, and another whistle. 11:51 to go in the period. Mere seconds left on this man advantage for St. Bernard's.
Well, good opportunities, just trying to get the puck in front of the net and then not able to get a clean release. Finally get one from Bolak on the right side with the backhand. But Dangle able to gobble that one up.
Face-off won by the Tigers. They're able to clear it out to neutral ice. Now a chance for them going the other way. Blake Hannon had the first goal, and he has the fourth for Littleton Bromfield. Just like that. The Tigers kill off the power play, get back to full strength. They force a turnover. Blake Hannon skates in one-on-one. This time he goes to the bottom left side. Chase Bergeron looks to the heavens in disbelief. It is 4-1 Littleton Bromfield.
Hannon's 38th goal of the season, and he was able, after the dump-in attempt, he was able to block that off, create his own breakaway, get in on Bergeron, fire it low, fire it past the senior keeper for the Bernardians. His second goal of the game, and 1 second after the penalty to Pittarino expired. It's now a 3-goal lead again for Littleton Bromfield.
Tigers control the faceoff. They have it in the Bernardian end. Skated to the faceoff circle, centering pass, doesn't find its target, dumped in by Pittarino, covered up by Bergeron. 11:17 to play here, second period. Tigers have just extended their lead. It is 3 goals again. That's the thing about momentum, Dan. It only exists if everybody agrees it exists. And the Tigers had something to say about it.
It existed up until the moment that Hannon blocked that dump-in feed. And once he earned that breakaway, he was able to seize it all by himself and take it right to the goal.
Shot off the faceoff is sticked away by Bergeron, flipped up into the netting. Pretty good crowd here on hand at the Garden. Both sides pretty well represented.
Route 2 probably got a lot of traffic today coming from North Central Mass.
I saw more than a few folks on the Mass Pike as well who were wearing hockey regalia and heading east. So it's been a busy day at the Guardian, 6 championship games. This is the 6th and final one for the Division IV Boys Ice Hockey Championship. Dumped into the zone for the Bernardians. Walker unable to keep it in. Cleared out by Littleton Bromfield. Goes all the way down for icing, so we'll get another whistle. 10:55 to go now in the second period. Littleton Bromfield's extended their lead. It's now 4-1 in favor of the Tigers. Boy, Dan, if folks are just missing the starts of these periods, they have missed some action.
4 of the 5 goals in this contest have come in the first 4 minutes of either period.
Walker tries a backhand shot off the faceoff, but it's intercepted before it can get in on Dangle. Now a shot the other way goes wide of the net. Kept in at the blue line by Liam Glue. He pokes it forward. Matt Sylvia dumps it the other way for St. Bernard's. Chased down, and the referee will say no icing. We continue to play. Dumped into the far left corner. Battled for by the Bernardians. Walker tried a centering pass, but it's intercepted. Now going the other way is Hannon, but he's dispossessed. Liam Glue knocks it loose into the near side right wing corner. Another chance for Littleton Bromfield. Connor Glue gains the blue line. Tried to shoot, but it was taken off his stick. Now going the other way for St. Bernard's. Skating all the way in, back behind the net. Try the wraparound opportunity, nobody there. Comes back out to the slot, and the shot is blocked. Coming back the other way with numbers is Littleton Bromfield. 3-on-2 for them if they hurry. Blake Hannon already has a couple of goals tonight. His shot here goes to the left side of the net. And end to end we go, rather. This one's dumped in by Will Canada. Both teams change up skaters, get some fresh legs on the ice. Long stretch pass there by Littleton Bromfield off the stick of Brody Kenny, goes into the corner. Battled for in the slot. Falls to the stick of Owen Higgins. He tries his luck, but it's blocked up into the netting. Some pretty high netting, as you would expect, all around the glass here.
I wonder one other thing, too, is how you look at the boards and they have the stanchions here, like you can see on that replay for a moment. And that's something I imagine most of these teams aren't used to playing in rinks that actually have those stanchions, because you see so much of the seamless glass around.
Loose puck off the face-off, ultimately controlled by the Bernardians. Back behind the St. Bernard's net. Kept in at the blue line only momentarily by Littleton Bromfield. They'll regather in their own end. Played off the boards by the Tigers. Kelly Logan couldn't get a handle. It goes into the bench, and we get a whistle.
And of course, one of the reasons why we have stanchions at these high levels here, as opposed to the seamless glass that we'd see, let's say, at the Civic Center, is because the glasses with stanchions, they have more give to them. They're more forgiving if you send someone into the boards compared to the seamless glass that all moves in one, and it's kind of got a lot less give. It's a lot more rigid, and so impacts are going to be of a much higher impact, you know.
And there's generally a little more velocity, let's say, of players being slammed into things here at TD Garden. So it makes sense that they would need to withstand that. St. Bernard's with the puck. Testagrossa, who has the lone goal, plays it ahead. Now dumped into the zone. Goes off the stick of Cale Picos, back behind the Tiger net. Back to Whirling. He finds Connor Glue. Glue ahead to Blake Hannon. Hannon with 2 goals tonight, 2 assists as well. It's a 4-point evening for Mr. Hannon, and it's not even halfway through. 8:22 here to go, second period. Blake Hannon has played a part in all 4 of Littleton Bromfield's goals. Out to neutral ice at the red line. Connor Glue. Taken away from him momentarily. Hannon regathers. Skates in, tries the backhand. Connor Glue takes a shot. Save made by Bergeron. Rebound gathered by Kelly Logan. He tries a centering pass, but it's blocked away by Brody Kenny. Back behind the Bernardian net. Now along the near side boards. St. Bernard's having a heck of a time just getting it out of their own zone. Sylvia now behind his net. Retreats and retraces in steps. He was being menaced by Kelly Logan. Sylvia tried to get rid of it, swung and missed. Now Logan has the puck, but he's 1-on-5 with no support. Tigers coming in to help as Logan is banged into the boards. Cody Warren there for St. Bernard's. Warren and Logan. Unsurprising here in Boston, Logan is tied up and can't do anything. It's going to take a lot longer than you thought it would. Back into the Tiger end now. Dumped in by Littleton Bromfield. Chased along the near side, rather, by Taglieri. Back out to Liam Glue. Skated in for the Tigers. This is Gavin Whirling. He tries a shot. Goes wide to the left, back behind the net. Battle behind the net. Andrew Archer giving chase for the Tigers. It's dumped out of the zone by St. Bernard's. Coming the other way now. Will Canada gains the blue line into the offensive zone. Tries a shot. Kicked away by Dangle. Sent right back behind the net. Walker couldn't get the wraparound, comes out to the point, shot, save made by Dangle. He'll cradle that against his chest, draw a whistle with 6:38 to play here in the second period.
Back and forth, and chances on both ends for these teams. Looking for more goals. Again, 2 of the more potent offenses in really the entire state. 149 goals for Littleton Bromfield this year, 144 goals for St. Bernard's.
Face-off won by the Tigers. They'll play it forward. Whirling, one-on-one with the goaltender. Shot saved by Bergeron. Rebound. Hannon was crashing in. Bergeron able to save that. And the St. Bernard's faithful on the near side erupt in applause as their goaltender makes maybe his best 2 saves of the night. Now a chance for the Bernardians coming the other way. Shot off the stick of Phoenix Fortier. Wristed away by Dangle, rather. And the puck is played with a high stick.
The big applause, well warranted. A shot and a kick save by Bergeron, but following on the rebound. Two players both in search of a hat trick here at the Garden. First it was Gavin Whirling, then it was Blake Hannon, but Bergeron able to scramble to his right, make the stop on Hannon, deny them both, and keep it to a 3-goal deficit for the Bernardians.
The illegal stick play came from St. Bernard, so it's a face-off in their own zone, controlled by the Bernardians. J.J. Jaw, junior from Leominster, with the puck behind his own net. Play it forward along the near boards. Try to dump it in, but Littleton Bromfield bats it right back. Comes into the Tiger end. They'll play it forward. Hannon tries the shot from the right side. Goes wide up over the net. Now to the right side, right wing corner, and poked behind the Bernardian goal. Comes to Connor Glue. Phoenix Fortier with it for St. Bernard's. Fortier gained the blue line, tried to find Testagrossa. Pass was broken up. Littleton Bromfield regathers. Glue finds Hannon. Blake Hannon has been a menace all night. He skates in, takes a shot. Bergeron denies. Off his glove over the net and into the left wing corner. Still live. 5:10 to play here, second period. Littleton Bromfield leads 4-1 as St. Bernard's dumps it into the offensive zone. Dangle tried to snatch that out of the air, couldn't get a handle on it. Fortunately for him, it went up and over his net. Now back out to neutral ice, chased by Brody Kenny for the Bernardians. Gathered, however, by Andrew Archer of the Tigers. He only had it momentarily, however. Sylvia skates in and then loses his edge. Can't keep it with him. It's poked back into St. Bernard's ice. Off the near boards, sent back in by the Tigers. They're just kind of ping-ponging back and forth now, and this one goes for icing. So it'll be a face-off back in the Tiger end with 4.5 minutes to play in period number 2. Kevin Lazat in his 7th season as head coach of Littleton Bromfield. As you mentioned, Dan, at the start of this broadcast, is also the all-time leading scorer in St. Bernard's boys ice hockey.
242 points. Also coached St. Bernard's for 8 seasons as well, from 2001 to 2009. So we've seen this on both sides of it.
Shot is deflected, goes up into the net, came off the stick of Owen Higgins. Sorry, excuse me, that was Andrew Archer for the Tigers. Helps if you look at the proper roster when you're calling players' names.
Things happen sometimes. Andrew Archer's been a tough one for you. That's the 3rd time you've misidentified him in some way.
Hey, you didn't have to point that out, even though it's completely and totally accurate. And I probably owe him an apology at this point. Face-off comes to the right side of Bergeron, controlled by the Bernardians. They're content to just flick it out of the zone and draw another face-off. This one goes for icing. 4:09 to play here on the scoreboards in the Garden. Shots on goal unofficially 17-14 in favor of Littleton Bromfield.
I can tell you that's what they officially are, too.
Nice. You had to crane your neck at a semi-unnatural angle to do that information.
That's the pain of being on the 6th floor.
Puck battled for in the right wing corner. Connor Glue emerges victorious. He turns around, takes a shot. Bergeron hangs onto it and will get another draw. This is a nice angle, I will say, Dan. It's a lot higher, obviously, than if we were at the Wallace Civic Center. The closest thing I would compare it to is calling football at Crocker Field. It's about that height, maybe a little bit further back from the field, or the ice in this case, but it's about the same height, it feels.
It's also pretty much just like if you're watching a game on television, because after all, the camera well is immediately below us.
That is true. I can reach over and just punch our main camera operator, Evan Schockenbach, right now. I shouldn't do that because he's, operating a camera.
I actually have forgotten about the fact our game cam is literally to the left of us. I see Isaiah a little farther away on the tight camera.
Puck sent into the Littleton Bromfield end. Now out to center ice, poked back there by the Bernardians, gathered by the Tigers. Liam Glue sends it cross ice. Was looking for Whirling, but he found a Bernardian. Connor Glue will try his luck, send it into the Bernardian zone. St. Bernard's there to gather once again. Cleared out of the zone, back out to center ice, and I think that might have bounced off a player on the bench and then came back to the playing surface. So the officials blow the whistle. 3:03 now to go here, second period.
I know I've been fortunate to make a number of trips to the Garden before. This is my 7th state championship game here from the Garden. And on all those other trips, I was up on the 9th floor, you know, where all the other broadcasters usually end up. But you're much higher up, but you're a little farther away from the action. I wonder if I would be able to read these Littleton Bromfield jerseys just as well with white numbers on a gold back as if I were, you know, compared to where I am now on the 6th.
Shot from the right side is gathered in by Bergeron. That one off the stick of, wait for it, I'm going to get his name right, Andrew Archer. Bergeron does a good job holding on to the puck, drawing another face-off. I was thinking about it, Dan, as we were coming in today. I'm not sure I've ever been in this building. I think it's possible that the last time I was at a building in Boston that called itself the Garden was when I went to the last WWF show at the old Boston Garden.
Wow.
That was a while ago now. I'm old.
That building's been replaced by some much larger buildings.
It's true. It's a fair point. Skated in for the Tigers, Austin Huber. Centering pass, shot, score! There's that man again, Andrew Archer. Etching his name in the history books with a championship goal, the 5th of the night for Littleton Bromfield. And this one, Dan, was set up beautifully.
Forcing the turnover, Huber able to take it into the left circle. Went in tight, didn't go for the shot, but instead fed it deep into the slot for Andrew Archer. And he was in the position Bergeron had no chance to get across to cut that down. 20th goal of the season for the senior captain. And it's 5-1 to Littleton Bromfield.
Every other goal thus far tonight has gone through either Hannon or Whirling, but this time it's Austin Huber with the beautiful feed to a wide open Andrew Archer, and he takes it from there. 5-1 now in favor of the Tigers. Loose puck back behind the Bernardian end as the Tigers look to press their advantage. Still an entire period plus 2 minutes to play in this one. It is not over yet, which is both words of encouragement for St. Bernard's and a not-so-subtle threat to Littleton Bromfield. Dumped down the end of the ice, no icing, as they say the players were roughly equidistant from the puck as it crossed the goal line. St. Bernard's shot intercepted by the Tigers, now coming the other way with some pace. Shot, save made by Bergeron, dangerous rebound, but it's gathered in front before Hannon could capitalize. Tigers try to play it back in, but a little too aggressively. They are offside. So we'll stop the clock with 94 seconds to play here in period number 2.
I've done my counting right. I believe this is only the second time this season that St. Bernard's has given up more than 4 goals in a game. The one other time back on December 22nd against Worcester. And that was a game in which St. Bernard's led 7-3 near the end of the second period. By the time there was a minute to play in the third, they were down 8-7. They ended up winning that game with 2 goals in the final minute, 9-8. So the fact that, you know, they've already seen a 4-goal deficit overturned against them. Who's to say they couldn't be the ones doing it to Littleton Bromfield?
Littleton Bromfield has not conceded more than 4 goals this season. They gave up 4 back on February the 16th in a win over Lunenburg Air Shirley. As we are, I don't even know where that camera is. It's down that way. Hi. That is a shot up into the 6th floor from our camera down at ice level, operated by Robin Como. Tremendous work, as always, by the FATV team. Again, we are so thankful and proud to be able to bring this game to you live on audio and on tape delay on video. Shot off the stick of Andrew Archer is steered away by Bergeron. I'm going to get his name right every single time for the rest of the night, I guarantee it. Skated in by Sylvia. He's gently directed in the direction of the boards, we'll say. The puck comes to Evan Walker. Less than a minute to play here in the second period. St. Bernard's would love to get a goal on the board, get back to a 3-goal deficit. They started this period with all the momentum in the world. They got a quick goal, made it a 2-goal deficit, really thought like they were gonna get back into this one. But credit to the Tigers, they've reset, regathered themselves, put 2 goals back on the board, extended the lead. And now a dangerous opportunity for them here. Loose puck in the slot is steered out by the Bernardians. Will Canada will dump it in. Dangle grabs and will draw a whistle. So we'll get a face-off with under 10 seconds to play here in the period. It has been, Dan, a really impressive job by Littleton Bromfield to regather themselves, to not literally take, perhaps literally take a breath even, and just recenter, refocus, get back on task, and extend this lead.
They've been a tough customer. They're the number 2 seed for a reason.
Face-off will come to the left side of Jacob Dangle. Into the near wing corner. Players content to just kind of hold it against the boards, play out the rest of the few seconds that are left. And we will go to the locker rooms once again. 5-1 is the score at the end of 30 minutes from the TD Garden. Littleton Bromfield able to get those 2 goals, one in the middle and then one toward the end of that second period, to reestablish a dominant hold on this championship game.
Shots 14-9 in that second period in favor of Littleton Bromfield, 22-15 officially through 2 periods of play. 2 goals in this game for Blake Hannon, 2 goals for Gavin Whirling, and Andrew Archer adding the 5th to make that a 4-goal lead for Littleton Bromfield. Ryder Testagrossa got the lone goal for St. Bernard's.
And for Steve Sylvia and St. Bernard's, Dan, it's obviously a very tough task. You're down 4, you've got 15 minutes against a team that is very tough. It's tough. It's not going to be easy for them, but there is time. They can do this.
Obviously, it would require the worst defensive performance of the season for Littleton Bromfield for St. Bernard's to come back and tie this game. I imagine if you're Coach Sylvia, I think the first thing to think about is, you're at the TD Garden. You're here on a stage that few ever get to skate on. Try to soak it all in and enjoy it for what you can, and just go 1 goal at a time, see what you can do to try to claw your way back into the contest. Remember, there's no such thing as a 4-point goal. You just got to take it 1 step at a time, and if it's not to be, then just try to enjoy it for what it is.
Absolutely. It's been a difficult first 2 periods for St. Bernard's, but there is time for the turnaround. Folks, don't go anywhere. We still have the 3rd period and the championship presentation. This is the 2026 MIAA Boys Division IV Ice Hockey Championship, and it is on FATV. At the TD Garden, it is 5-1 in favor of Littleton Bromfield as we get ready for the 3rd and final period of regulation in this, the 2026 Boys Ice Hockey Division IV Championship game. And again, we're here at TD Garden, which is pretty cool in its own right, Dan.
Oh yeah. It's a wonderful privilege to be able to be here and to bring this game to you.
And it has been, for the most part, a wonderful first 30 minutes for the Tigers of Littleton Bromfield. 3 goals for them in the first period. They did concede 1 at the start of the second. St. Bernard's looked to be regathering the momentum, trying to get back into this game. But 2 more for the Tigers toward the end got them back to the 3-goal lead and then extended it even further. The first goal of the second period was scored by Ryder Testagrossa. It's the only goal of the night for St. Bernard's for Testagrossa, just his 6th goal of the season. Only 9 points coming into the game for the sophomore from Ashby. But his goal there made it, at the time, a 3-1 game, and we really did think that St. Bernard's had something going getting back into this. They controlled the momentum, they got a penalty, they were on the power play, but toward the end of that power play, Dan, is when the momentum really swung back in the Tigers' favor.
St. B's were able to get a few shots on during that man advantage, but then a failed dumping attempt. Blake Hannon earned a breakaway, made no mistake, put it past Jace Bergeron for his 2nd goal of the game, his 38th of the season, to restore the 3-goal lead, make it 4-1. And then from that, Littleton Bromfield started to take back control of the contest. They got a few more shots on as the period went on. Bergeron equal to the challenge as much as he could. And Matt Sylvia trying the wraparound. We saw him score on that very move against Rockland early on in that game. So it's one of the moves that he's tried and succeeded on to great success. Here was what all rights probably should have made it 5-1 and been a hat trick for either Gavin Whirling or Blake Cannon, but Bergeron able to deny both of them. A shot going off the blocker of Jacob Dangle as we continue to look at these highlights from the second period. And then Huber going deep on the left side. He held on, looked like he was going to shoot it, but then fed it to the slot instead. Andrew Archer wide open to fire it past Bergeron to make it 5-1. That's where we stand now.
Almost a no-look pass on that centering pass by Huber to set up Andrew Archer for the goal, made it 5-1 in favor of the Tigers. Littleton Bromfield just 15 minutes away from capturing their first state championship in boys ice hockey. Before this, they had never played for a state title for St. Bernard's. It's been 26 years since they were here. And the Bernardians likewise have never tasted that championship.
The other 3 times St. Bernard's has ever played for a state title. 1977 played Billerica, lost 15-2 in what was a perfect season for Billerica. Then 1986 lost to Minuteman in the D3 final, 5-3. Then 7-4 to Duxbury in 2000. Those were Division II finals. Third period is underway. Littleton Bromfield goes left to right in the road goals. Gavin Whirling with a shot glove down by Chase Bergeron with only 11 seconds gone in the frame. St. Bernard's will go from right to left in the dark blue uniforms with gold trim and white numbers. Face off to the left of Bergeron, won by the Bernardians. Skating up the ice in the middle is Phoenix Fortier. He'll fire it in from 70 feet. It'll be gloved by Jacob Dangle, and he'll hold for a draw.
And we do want to give one final reminder to our folks who are joining us live via audio only. We do have the full FATV production truck here in Boston. Our TV crew has been doing their best putting together a darn fine video production, if we do say so ourselves. This game will air with video Tuesday night, 7:30 on FATV, and from then on will be available on demand at fatv.org.
A shot stop by Bergeron, out back the other way. Toby Bolak holding on the right side boards in the Littleton Bromfield zone, but he's knocked off the puck, can't handle it with the pressure from Littleton Bromfield. They skate it up the far side and dump it in. Cody Warren will punch it off the boards to the near side. Phoenix Fortier trying to get it to Bolak on the near side in front of the penalty boxes. Littleton Bromfield so solid, positioning themselves, making it all the more challenging for St. Bernard's to get up ice. Kelly Logan will dump it in. On target, Bergeron sticks it aside to his left. Logan will get it back behind the net. Goes to the left corner, tries to feed Archer. Out of his reach, can't be kept in at the point by Cale Picos. Phoenix Fortier 1-on-2 is able to get around a man, take it to goal. Shot saved by Dangle. Turned what could have been nothing into nearly something. But Dangle stuck right with him for his 16th save of the night. 17th, I guess you could say.
That kind of outstanding effort by Phoenix Fortier may have been the match that lit the flame that got St. Bernard's back into this one, but he was ultimately denied by Jacob Dangle.
Bernardians chasing 4, down 5-1, 13-10 to go in regulation time. Gavin Whirling up the center of the ice to the left wing circle. He'll be knocked off the puck there and back the other way. A 2-on-2 for St. Bernard's. Matt Sylvia leading it. Gets a shot off, gloved by Dangle. Snares it out of the air with the left hand and holds for a draw.
You can feel here in the early stages of this third period, the Bernardians are trying to be aggressive. They're trying to push the advantage. They know they have work to do, and they're trying to get it done. Littleton Bromfield early on, but to this point, they have turned the Bernardians away.
Face off to the left of Dangle, won by the Tigers. The puck will go around to the right side and it'll be carried up ice. A 2-on-2. A shot goes wide from the left wing. Pulled off the boards on the right side, pushed out of the zone by Will Canada. Back to the blue line for Littleton Bromfield. They'll feed it forward off the stick of Connor Glue and dumped in the left wing corner. JJ Ja will carry it out from behind the net to the near side, off the boards, back to the red line. Liam Glue will throw it around the boards all the way to the left side to find his twin brother Connor. Connor will be dispossessed in the left circle. A Tiger following on at the blue line, and Kelly Logue is able to keep it in the zone. Get it back around the boards again, but St. Bernard's finally gets it out. Will Canada on the left side drops off for Sylvia at the left circle. Sylvia skates into the corner. Now turns, Walker turning around, shot deflected on goal. and it gets to Dangle, and he's able to get his glove on it and cover for a draw. 12:04 to go in the third, 5-1 Littleton Bromfield.
It was a very dangerous deflection of that shot. Dangle did a good job adjusting and covering it up. The deflection actually came off his teammate, Andrew Archer, trying to knock it away. He deflected it not off path from the goal, but nearly off path from his goaltender.
Littleton Bromfield wins the draw. Cale Picos from the near side tries to hit a stretch pass that's well offline and will go for icing. He wanted to find Austin Huber on the left wing, but it was well out of his reach. Faceoff will come all the way back down to one side of Dangle. Should have won a state championship with Bromfield soccer, playing for Littleton Bromfield ice hockey. And when lacrosse season starts in a couple weeks, he'll be suiting up for North Middlesex, because that's who Bromfield co-ops in that sport. And their season opener on the 27th is against Littleton.
That won't be awkward at all.
Yes, in about a couple of weeks, some of these guys are going to be adversaries that he's playing with today.
Aren't small schools fun?
But they won't be shooting pucks past Dangle. He's a midfielder in lacrosse. Set to go to Wake Forest. Faceoff comes to the left of Bergeron after an icing. Andrew Archer with a shot from the top of the right circle, whistles high over the net. It's the Bernardians on the far side, can't get it out of the zone. Archer has trouble holding onto it. Bolak sends it to the ice. Littleton Bromfield keeps it in and rims it around the boards to the right side. It comes back behind the net. Pulled out by Adam Rendon. He'll skate it up on the far side. Rendon gaining the blue line, trying to take it all the way. Runs into a couple of Tigers who won't give him the space to work with, and they'll dump him off the puck. In the neutral zone, Rendon gets a hold of it, whistles it back towards goal. Glove down by Dangle. Bernardians will change lines behind the play. Tigers will go and gather it up. Connor Galoo passes far side. And further skating up ice. That's Huber. Goes to the near side. He'll throw it into the left point. Hops off the stick of Liam Galoo. On the far half board, St. Bernard's takes a hold of the puck, tries to get out of the zone. Evan Walker shakes out of a hit. Cale Picos tried to dump him into the boards. Did end up losing the puck, and it's dumped back in by Littleton Bromfield. 10:25 to go, third period, 5-1, Littleton Bromfield in front. Matt Sylvia floats it all the way down the ice, trying to find Carter Moget out of his reach. The left wing circle, Blake Hannon dropped off, a shot stopped by Bergeron. Got it with the left pad. Into the right wing corner, Walker rubbed in the boards by Connor Galoo. Gavin Whirling pulling it out, tries to center, found Matt Sylvia. He's on the other team. He tries to clear it out. Cale Picos gets a hold of it. Shot, elbow save by Bergeron. Rebound bounces out to the left side. Can't be kept in by the Tigers. They'll have to clear the zone. Liam Galoo skates around in the center circle. Now finally dumps it in and around the boards. All the way around to the right side half boards. Cannon can't pull it off the boards. Now Mount Sylvia will skate it up. He's on the left side, trying to gain an opening, goes for the tight angle shot, puts it off the arm of Dangle, and it ricochets into the right wing corner, now out to the right point. Cody Warren can't move it along, and the Tigers able to get it out of the zone. Backhanded in by Phoenix Fortier on the near side. And Rainbow down the ice by the Tigers. Gavin Whirling tries to glove it down. Adam Rendon dumps it down the ice. Will be picked up by the Littleton Bromfield decor. They can't clear it out. Shot punched away by Dangle off the stick of Phoenix Fortier from the left point. About 9 minutes to go in regulation time. 4-goal lead for Littleton Bromfield. They lead 5-1. 2 goals for Gavin Whirling, 2 goals for Blake Cannon, and a goal for Andrew Archer. Ryder Testagross has got the lone goal for St. Bernard's. A 2-on-2 for the Tigers. Kelly Logan shot from the right circle, stopped by Bergeron.
Very vocal fan contingents here from both sides. I think I just heard the St. Bernard's faithful try to find a little bit of common ground with those who came in support of Littleton Bromfield. They tried to get them to agree about a derogatory saying about the New York professional baseball team. It's just rude. It's a familiar chant here in Boston.
That's the vibe. Huber in the right circle, gets a shot off. Bergeron makes the save.
I should say the lesser New York professional baseball team. They weren't saying anything bad about the Mets after all.
People can agree about that. Bergeron set to go to Norwich University up in Northfield, Vermont. He's going to play lacrosse for the Cadets. Comes from a military family. He also noted to me last week when I got a chance to talk to him that the helmet that he's been wearing it all 4 years of his high school career. That'll be retired after today. It's lasted a long time and it's done him well. But obviously he'll be taking to the lacrosse field when the spring sports season starts in the next couple of weeks. And he'll actually be playing in goal, unlike his counterparts on the other side of the ice. Puck in the Littleton Bromfield zone in the left wing corner. Players being dumped into the boards. Evan Walker takes the hit, and a roar comes from the Tiger faithful on the far side of the ice. The St. Bernard's fans on the near side of the ice. That's how they've got it set up here at the Garden.
It's the second time tonight that Walker has been banged into the boards rather aggressively so, and come out a little displeased with the situation.
And a penalty against St. Bernard's. It's going to be a tripping call as Owen Tolson hauled down Kelly Logan in the right wing corner.
Things just going from bad to worse now for St. Bernard's. Nearly half this third period gone. They haven't been able to cut into this deficit. And now Littleton Bromfield gets another power play.
It's their second of the night. They scored on the first one. They'll win the draw, hold at the point. Now at the right side, Andrew Archer with a shot blocked by Fortier. Out to the right side, Hannon's shot is just off the mark, goes behind the net to the right, and Mauger is able to clear it down the far side.
Hannon had plenty of time to set up. It would have been a hat trick if he had gotten it to go, but he yanked it just a little bit more than he probably wanted, and wound up going wide of the net.
Past the halfway point, Liam Glue getting harassed by Phoenix Fortier back in his own zone. Killed precious seconds of this power play for the Tigers. Now they'll skate it up with momentum and speed on the left side, and a shot is stopped by Bergeron. A shoulder save on Hannon. They'll come back to Hannon. He holds the right dot. Tries to put it into the slot. Can't be handled by Whirling. Dumped down the ice and clear. Tigers will leave it behind the net from Dangle. Now Littleton Bromfield trying to lead the reset. Whirling couldn't handle it at the St. Bernard's blue line, and the Bernardians dump it back down the ice again. .45 seconds to go on this power play for the Tigers. They regain the zone. Connor Glue with the shot, saved by Bergeron. A dangerous rebound to Whirling on the right side. He couldn't get a stick on it. Hannon's got it settled down on the right side boards. He'll go all the way across down front for Glue out of his reach. They were looking for Connor. He'll get to Hannon, but he's not in a shooting position. Now he gets into it out in front of the net. Couldn't get a shot away. St. Bernard's gets the puck, sends it all the way down on target, and Dangle will knock that one down. 12 seconds to go on the man advantage. About 6 minutes to go in regulation time. A 5-1 lead for Littleton Bromfield. Kelly Logan on the right side into the corner as the penalty about to expire to Tolson. He's out of the box. And back to full strength are the Bernardians. On the left circle, shot saved by Bergeron. Got a piece of it with the left pad. Liam Glue on the right point trying to skate forward, keep control of the puck. He's dispossessed as Adam Rendon will skate it up the near side, gains the red line and floats it around the boards. Cale Picos will be first to arrive, highest numbered player in this contest wearing 46. Get it to the neutral zone. Brody Kenny will dump it back in. Stopped down by Dangle behind his own net. 5:15 to go in this contest. From the near side in the neutral zone, players battling in front of the penalty boxes. Liam Glue will get a hold of it, send it back to his D partner. Off the boards for Huber. Now for Picos. He'll punch it off the penalty box doors. It'll come right to Brody Kenny. He'll fire it in, miss the net by about 3 feet to the left. And he's will not be able to stop the puck from going all the way down. As it was rimmed around the boards, J.J. Jaw tried to get a stick on it. Got enough to just slow it down temporarily, but it goes all the way down and won't go for icing because of the attempt. Blake Hannon able to steal the puck away in the St. Bernard's end. Hannon holding on the left side, tries to go back to Whirling. He can't handle it, but Picos on the red line will dump it back in. Jaw on the right wing corner, now the left wing, and he'll throw it all the way up ice, trying to stretch it up, tries to find Sylvia. Sylvia takes a big hit from Picos, and he's slow to get up. They're going to stop play here as down, face down on the ice still is Sylvia, having taken that hit up in the upper torso from Cale Picos.
And Picos will go to the penalty box, and frankly, rightly so, Dan. He left his feet, delivered a shot right to the head of Matt Sylvia. And he is hearing it from the St. Bernard's fans.
They put 2 minutes on the boards as the trainer will come out to check on Matt Sylvia. He's back up on his skates. And he will skate off under his own power.
That was just, frankly, unnecessary. Saw some Bernardians jawing at Picos. We'll take another look at it. See, he lined him up, he leapt into him, he whacked him in the head, he taunted him for good measure. I don't think he should play any more hockey tonight, Frank. That's just me.
The hit was high, definitely upper torso. I don't think he was aiming for the head specifically. He is fortunate to get off with just 2 minutes, though. It'll be the second power play of the night for St. Bernard's. As the Bernardians, perhaps without their best player for the rest of this game because of that high hit. They're having trouble regaining the zone as they're stuck back in their own end. But Evan Walker will skate it up the left side. Walker into the zone. Tried the self-pass. Liam Blue tried to get a hold of it and clear it out. It's kept it at the right circle. Now it's Will Canada. Canada shoots just wide. J.J. Jaw will try to turn it back towards goal. Doesn't get much on it on a turnaround shot at the right point, and it's cleared out. Andrew Archer the other way gets a shot. Glove saved by Bergeron. He'll hold for a draw with 3:11 to go in the contest. 59 on the man advantage.
Littleton Bromfield doing a good job not only killing off this power play, but continuing to press the advantage even shorthanded. They wouldn't mind a 6th goal.
Shots 32-21 in this contest in favor of Littleton Bromfield. 10-6 in this third period.
We said coming in, Dan, you were pretty confident Littleton Bromfield would have more shots, and it has certainly played out that way.
I mean, I couldn't have told you what the final score was going to be, but I had a feeling that that was one thing that I could count on, especially considering that last game that St. Bernard's played, where they were outshot 47-15 by the defending state champions, but ended up winning that game 6-3. 20 seconds to go on the man advantage. Toby Bolak's got it on the right side, gains the red line, now the blue. Bolak into the right circle, button hooks, goes back to Ja. His shot is offline, off the boards to Evan Walker. Didn't take a huge bounce off it. Walker will fling it into the right wing corner. Go high off the glass, stay in play. Littleton Bromfield dump it down the ice. The penalty is killed off. And icing called with 2:06 to go.
I will say, Dan, I am surprised that Cale Picos is not being summoned right to the bench.
Well, it comes down to what did you see on the hit? It's like, did you see anything wrong with it? There were other things and other aspects, but I won't get into it. Picos is on the ice here.
I mean, if nothing else, there's 5 guys in blue sweaters who don't like him very much right now.
Carter Mosier with an opportunity, a whistle on a shot that was stopped by Dangle. I'm guessing the whistle was maybe the official did lose the puck. He was on the other side of Dangle, didn't get a good look at him. Under 2 minutes to go in this contest, a 4-goal lead for Littleton Bromfield, no scoring in this third period. Can definitely see in this contest that in this third period, Littleton Bromfield's definitely played a little more of a defensive game. Not going for large numbers of shots, but taking opportunities where they can arise. A shot from Blake Hannon is stopped by Bergeron with the shoulder. Orley can't get to the rebound. And now behind the play, Owen Tolson extremely cross with the Tiger.
Well, that was all Tolson, frankly, Dan. First he bangs Hannon into the board, basically grabbed him in a headlock and threw him down to the ice. Frustration boiling over for the Bernardians. The St. Bernard's faithful here on the near side celebrating it. Tolson will not play any part in the remainder of this one with 1:22 on the clock, and him about to be charged at least 2 minutes of penalty time.
The officials in front of the penalty boxes at the scorer's table, discussing the administration of penalties that they wish to assess here in this moment. An informal timeout by the two teams that are now in front of the benches. They are going to send a Bernardian and Andrew Thomas to the penalty box to serve a penalty for Tolson. Tells you that Tolson's going to get more than just a minor penalty here. They do put 2 minutes on the board, so I'm guessing it's 2 and 10. Here, thank you seniors chant, for Littleton Bromfield, they have 8 seniors on this roster. For St. Bernard's, just 2, Chase Bergeron and Carter Mauger are the 2 seniors. A shot saved by Bergeron, rebound, wraparound chance does not go for the Tigers, and the Bernardians able to clear it out of danger. Puck held behind the Tigers' net. Now the final minute of regulation, the final minute of this championship game. Andrew Archer up the left side, gets the left dot, shot turned aside by Bergeron, or maybe just wide, one or the other. Roughing it, 10 minutes misconduct is the call as it comes out to the left side, held by the Tigers, shot saved by Bergeron. Rebound loose in front, Connor Glue trying to get on that one, hasn't really factored into the scoring tonight. But Liam's got a number of points. Another shot turned aside by Bergeron. Out to the left side, 25 seconds left in this game. Connor Glue, a touch forward, a backhand pass. That doesn't go. Bernardians can clear it down the ice. 15 seconds to go. It's Liam Glue. Will bring it behind his own net. Raises his hands up in celebration already. Knows the Bernardians aren't pushing. Time's gonna run out, and for the first time, the Tigers of Littleton Bromfield are state champions! They had never been beyond the quarterfinals until this season. Their first trip to the semifinals punched their ticket to the TD Garden, and their first trip to the Garden will end with a state championship under their belts. And for the Glue Twins and Jacob Dangle, it's a second state championship in this 25-26 year.
It was a tremendous season for Littleton Bromfield. They finish on a 22-game winning streak. They won their first 2 games of the season, combined score of 10-1. They lost to Groton Dunstable on December 20th, and they did not lose again for the rest of the season. As well-deserving a champion as you ever will see, the Tigers of Littleton Bromfield. There you see Kevin Lizotte celebrating, hugging his players. Lizotte in his 7th season with Littleton Bromfield. We mentioned before, once coached St. Bernard's, the all-time leading point scorer for St. Bernard's. Now has a championship as the head coach of Littleton Bromfield.
What an interesting feeling, the fact that he ultimately wins his first state title against the very school that he attended.
And the championship game, Dan, in many ways emblematic of the season for Littleton Bromfield. They got out to an early lead. They never looked back. Anytime they were threatened, they came back. They extended the lead. They held it on. They kept St. Bernard's from getting back into this game. In this 3rd period, you saw early on, St. Bernard's came out aggressive. They were trying to get back into this one. And by the time it was halfway through the period, it was like the fight was gone from the St. Bernard's. Littleton Bromfield's defense just smothered them.
You know, it was 3-1 at one point. St. Bernard's had that power play, that they had the momentum. They had a number of shots. See Coach Lizotte saying some kind words, had a lot of good words for Matt Sylvia, had some good words for Chase Bergeron, and giving all of the wonderful kudos to these players who have fought hard for the Bernardians. Perhaps the best team St. Bernard's has produced. And 5 years ago, they were just starting out, and they've gotten here to the Garden. Let's listen in to the PA.
At this time, I'd like to ask Coach Lizotte, his coaching staff, and the captains to come to center ice and meet with your athletic director, Mr. Mike Lynn. Ladies and gentlemen, your Division IV state champions, Littleton Bromfield Tigers.
The 6 captains of Littleton Bromfield accept the trophy, and the 20-player roster celebrates. For the first time, the 13 players of Littleton High School, the 5 players of Bromfield High School, the 2 players from Parker Charter, making up the Littleton Bromfield Tigers, are state champions. 5 won the final. And it's an honor well-deserved for the Bernardians. They end their season with a record of 21-4. And they'll still be in search of their first title, but to think, 5 years ago, this was a team that was just trying to find a win, just starting the program back up out of the pandemic, only had about a dozen players, had Chase Bergeron's older sister Hannah in goal. It was a bit of a grind back then, and just to see how much this team has grown up and developed and turned into a team that can fight and pack their way and make their way to the TD Garden and to play on this greatest stage in high school boys ice hockey.
It's a tremendous accomplishment for the Bernardians. Obviously, one they would have liked to go better here tonight at the Guardians, but overall, I hope when they look back at this season, they will be able to do it with pride, being the first team from St. Bernard's to make it to a state championship since the year 2000. As you said, Dan, having just reinvigorated the program. Again, they came up short in the end, and that stinks, and there's no way of getting around that. But still a tremendous season for the Bernardians, and one we hope they can be proud of.
And this is a team that only has 2 seniors on their roster. Most of this team is going to be back again next year. For Littleton Bromfield, will be a little harder to replace all that talent. 8 seniors, after all, who will be graduating. But this St. Bernard's team, they've already shown they've got a wonderful core put together. Steve Sylvia said at one point, it's not about having the best players, it's about having the right players. And this is a team that's, for many years, a lot of these kids have played together, even before coming to St. Bernard's, playing junior hockey together. They have so much chemistry. It's such a great family atmosphere. And St. Bernard's is going to have chances to come. Littleton Bromfield will still be around and still, putting up a threat, if you will. But for the Tigers, they're going to get to celebrate a state championship. Again, the first one in the program's history. And for Central Mass, they get to take the final trophy of the night.
It's an all Central Mass final to wrap up the night. It has been an incredible day here at the TD Garden as we celebrate all the champions of ice hockey here in Massachusetts, and we have been so thankful to help bring you our coverage of this, the 6th and final championship game, the Division IV Boys Ice Hockey Championship. Before we say goodbye, we do want to thank one more time the MIAA as well as the folks at TD Garden for allowing us to be here live with audio and on demand with video a couple of days later. It has been an incredible experience, Dan, and we would be remiss if we didn't thank our crew as well.
Indeed, a wonderful crew here. Evan Schachenbach here, right here in the press box with us. Isaiah Manuel also up here on the perch, giving us some beautiful tight shots. Robin Como down low, getting some shots on the board. Alex Fabrile in the truck, running graphics. Henry Christensen on replay. Travis Falk doing audio and tech and all that other stuff. And of course, Nathan Glennie, our director. I mean,
it's always true that this wouldn't happen without Travis and Nate, but even this being here at the Garden would not have happened without the efforts of Nate Glennie. So thank you so much to him for helping us be able to bring you this broadcast from this incredible venue. One more time, the final score: Littleton Bromfield 5, St. Bernard's 1. The Tigers are Division IV Boys Ice Hockey Champions.
Coach, you said last game that defense has kind of been overshadowed a little bit with how great your attack has been. Same thing, 1 goal allowed. Just what did you see again in the final stage?
It's funny, I saw a lot of people writing that it was going to be a high-scoring game, and I came in here thinking it was not going to be a high-scoring game. If it was going to be high-scoring, it was going to be because of us. our defense and our goaltending, and when I say defense, I'm talking about team defense from our forwards to our defenders, we're lights out. That's just the reality of it. We play extremely well defensively. We take pride in our defense. It gets overshadowed by we scored 140, 150 goals. We only gave up 30 some odd goals. I think that gets overshadowed. So we come into these games, we say it's a race to 3 or a race to 4, and that's what we're able to do. We get to 4 goals and we lock it down.
Right. What's the pride that you take in that, and being able to hold that down in the net?
Yeah, I know. I think it's a great opportunity for me to be on this team and play with these people around me, with my defenders. I mean, we only play with really 3 or 4 defenders, and we're able to get the job done. But I mean, if you look at our score sheets, I'm not facing many shots in all these games. I'm not facing like 30 plus, 40 plus shots. It's always usually the 20s or the teens, and I think I put that a lot on my defense. Liam Glue, he's really locked down there. Ryan Pittarino, Kale Picos, they all help me out, and I just want to give the credit to them. I have to make some saves sometimes, but it's really on them.
Right. Take us to that first period, how you guys were able to kind of get off to the hot start.
I mean, Coach always talks about it, getting off to a fast start. So me, Connor, Gavin, our line went out first shift, and it's not necessarily the goal for the fast start, but we got one. So it gave us all the energy, and we kept going.
Right.
So you guys go into the second period up 3-0, got a lot of momentum after the first. St. Bernard's gets a quick goal, makes it 3-1. What's the reaction like? How were you guys able to rebound from that and refocus and extend the lead by the end of that period?
For me, it's one shift at a time, and you got to be better than the last shift you had. And it was a big goal. Was it you that got the shorthanded goal?
Yeah.
So we've scored more shorthanded goals than we've given up power play goals this season. So we're as dangerous on the power play as we are with a man advantage. And they cut it to 3-1. They went on the power play, and the coaches and I said, "Oh, this is where we're going to extend the lead," and that's exactly what we did. Again, Blake, good players making great plays.
Gavin, obviously, the state championship just happened, but last round you said that you cared more about winning this game than setting the program record. Can you kind of look back now a little bit more on the pride of accomplishing that for the program?
I mean, yeah, but that's one of them's more. Actually, they're both equally amount as a team effort. So I couldn't do it without Blake, Connor, all the other teammates for the points record. Which means the world, both of them. So best coaches, though.
Yeah. You're just saying that.
Alright, come on.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously, you've got a long storied history with St. Bernard's, being a player for them, being a very successful player for them, and a coach for them. Did it mean anything more for you getting this title win over them, or are you just focused on happy to win the championship no matter the opponent?
Happy to win the championship, and when you're playing kind of a familiar foe, you probably get a little more nerves, to be honest with you. Going into a team that you know really, really well versus an Eastern or a Western Mass team that you know nothing about, it's a little bit different. So there was a level of familiarity, and I know some players personally on that other team as well. So you hurt for them in losing, and I'd hurt for my players if we had lost as well. So from an emotion standpoint, you want the best for everyone. But unfortunately, only one team can win, and today we got on the better side of it.
All right, thank you very much,
Absolutely.
Coach. Congratulations.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.